Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my partner's best friend sleep in one of our spare bedrooms while she's getting divorced? My girlfriend, Anna, 32, female, all names changed by the way, and I, 35, male, are currently living in a house that I own since before the start of our relationship. Anna's best friend, Catherine, 33, female, and I never really got along, partially, maybe, because we're very different types of people, but primarily it's because she doesn't approve of the fact that Anna and I have an open relationship. Ever since Anna disclosed this fact to Catherine, she accused me of cheating and claimed that I pressured Anna into it. Our interactions have gone from frosty to cold. Just to set the record straight, it's not cheating. Cheating absolutely exists in open relationships. The thresholds are just set through discussion. Neither of us ever did anything against these agreed-upon hard rules, and neither one of us pressured the other. We just had a conversation early in our relationship about why our previous relationships failed and realized that both of us struggled with relationships getting routine. We weren't ready to mouthball the thrill and excitement of meeting and dating new people yet, and we're both not particularly jealous people. We decided to try a non-monogamous relationship, and it worked well for us ever since. I also already tried explaining this to Catherine once or twice, so from my point of view, I did my due diligence to have a good relationship with her, but her perception of that might differ. Anyways, last week, Anna had an unexpected emergency call from Catherine. As it turns out, she's serving her hubby with divorce papers because he had a secret affair over the last few months. As a good friend does, Anna immediately invited her friend to stay at our place for a few weeks until things are sorted out. Catherine doesn't have family here, but we both have beds in our respective home offices, and so in her mind, it was the perfect solution. When Anna told me a few minutes after the call, I quickly had to pump the brakes. I'm not going to lie, the idea of having a hostile house guest in my own home isn't unappealing on its own already, but that's not even my main reason. Both Anna and I have friends with benefits or secondary partners that occasionally stay over when Anna works the night shift or I'm traveling for work. They also visit just for the occasional platonic movie night or dinner party. Friends with benefits are friends after all. Now, having Catherine here would mean we'd either have to significantly scale back these relationships for an undetermined length of time or have them over anyways. But as I imagine Catherine is probably even less tolerant towards perceived infidelity right now, that would probably just be a crappy to hostile experience for our other partners. Both of these things to me sound unfair towards me and our secondary relationships, as we always saw these as real relationships that deserve respect and consideration, just as much as our relationship with some increments of prioritization, of course. I told Anna that I don't want Catherine living here. Anna pretty much saw my reasoning right away and, given that I own the house, apologized for her rushed invitation and called Catherine to take it back. But since then, the situation has gotten out of hand, to be honest. Our friends are pretty much split along the lines of, it's your house and wow, you put Catherine on the streets just because of your side chicks. And Catherine kicked the conversation up an additional notch by insinuating that I'm trying to isolate Anna from her, and just said no because I hate that they are friends. For the record, I never had a problem with their relationship, nor did I ever do anything to limit it. Anyways, I'm increasingly starting to wonder if my objection has been worth it and the right call or if it's been unfair towards Catherine. So am I the a-hole? Excuse me, OP, why do other people get to comment? No, you are not the a-hole. This is your house. Your girlfriend caught on right away that what she did was wrong. She shouldn't have offered in the first place. And then Catherine chiming in with her version as to why you don't want her in the house is just ridiculous, in my opinion. This has nothing to do with the lifestyle that you and your partner share and enjoy. You simply don't want to have to share your day-to-day with somebody who so openly doesn't like you, who's claiming now that you're trying to isolate your partner from her because you hate her. And all these other people chiming in to tell you how much you suck? How about they take in Catherine? Honestly, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't worry about it anymore. You and Anna already talked about this. You're both on the same page. That's the end of the story. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Alarming reply says, you explained your reasoning to Anna, and she agreed with your perspective. You both agreed to not host Catherine. The reason is not important. Why are other people involved? Catherine is an adult. she is able to resolve her own problems. Ask Anna to deal with Catherine's nonsense, not the a-hole. Op responds, Catherine looped in additional friends against my or our will. I'd love to just let Catherine solve her own issues, but I'd feel much more comfortable if this situation is resolved or at least pacified too. We disclosed our relationship status on a need-to-know basis, and my worry is that Catherine might actually make it known to people that don't know yet if she continues. But that's a separate dilemma. Leaving for me says, not the a-hole, it should have been discussed with you prior to offering. But Anna seems pretty rational and course-corrected. There are plenty of ways for Anna to support Catherine other than to bring this person into your home, who judges you and does not accept your relationship. Your objection is worth it, as it sounds like if Catherine moves in for a term, she will serve to cause you problems and frustration. Op responds, given how much she's already managing to do that from the outside, inviting her in is basically out of the question at this point. My idea for extending the olive branch would have been apologizing, maybe trying to find an apartment or a very short stay in a united manner. 20 says, not the a-hole, but show your partner this post. She is the one who agreed with you, and she rescinded the offer. Her friend went nuclear and is bad-mouthing. Of course, you would not extend an invitation now, given her behavior. Also, point out to your partner that her friend's behavior is what's going to isolate her and potentially cause more issues in the relationship. She needs to deal with her friend and tell her to stay in her own lane. She asked and was given an answer, and whether she likes it or not, she needs to quit getting other people involved. Op responds that she's fully aware, and it always was a childhood friendship that carried over into an unlikely friendship in adulthood. Because Catherine is rather socially conservative, and Anna is, well, a social worker, so not that. This might be the conflict that will eventually make it clear that appeasement and gentle nudging won't work, and this friendship has run its course. Whatever that might mean for our or her friend group. Additional information from Opie's comments. It looks like the proactive then reneged invitation is doing a lot of heavy lifting and other people acting like Catherine is Anna's responsibility now. Though, if I'm being a bit more cynical, we're living in a high cost of living city. I wouldn't be shocked if the space and location of my inherited townhouse doesn't make it Catherine's first choice anyways. None of the other friends have anything that's as convenient in terms of commute time and space for yourself. I think one of the compromises I suggested when telling Anna no was to take in Catherine's hubby for a month on a purely functional basis, albeit to sleep. But basically, Catherine doesn't want to be at their shared home right now because the affair also took place there. As I said, I'm pretty sure our home would have been the most convenient and comfortable option for Catherine. What and how many other options she has, no idea, and no curiosity to change that, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some insane, we're going to both dump our cheating partners, and this is my chance narrative going on in Catherine's head at some point during all of this. But that's just me speculating. Honestly, at this point, and after reading the options here, my involvement in where she ends up is starting and ending with hoping it's a safe place, ideally far away. Okay, well, the community is judged top to not be the a-hole, and apparently, nobody wants to deal with Catherine. So, how about we move on to the update to see how this story ends? I figured I'd be giving an update because I still get notifications for my initial post somehow. The responses were also actually kind of helpful, so I'd also like to say thanks and share the outcome. It was reassuring that so many people agreed we weren't out of line and we should stick with our decision. Even more helpful were the questions. Why didn't we turn the tables? Got in front of the supposed backlash more on that later and said, well, why don't you host her then? What can I say except that we're not located somewhere where everyone from your barber to your second cousin will blow up your inbox or socials and call you an a-hole to your face on behalf of a third party? We only heard about the criticism against us through the grapevine, and we didn't really have a specific person to say, well, then you take her too. But after reading your comments, Anna got the idea to let out a WhatsApp broadcast to our shared friend group. It basically said that we're feeling very guilty because of Catherine's situation and that it was crappy to make a promise and then take it back. But we simply realized that our lifestyle seemed like it might be triggering to her in her current situation. That would be uncomfortable for everyone involved. But we'd be happy to help anyone who will take her in whatever way we can. Cue the crickets. That was the moment we realized that maybe there were less people on Catherine's side than we initially assumed. Actually, only one couple, who were friends with both Catherine and her hubby, reached out to invite us to dinner, apparently to share some things we weren't aware of yet. First of all, according to them, the affair wasn't the cardinal thing Catherine had made it out to be, and more of a falling out of love situation on the husband's side that has long been coming. Basically, he met someone that made him realize that his marriage was dead, and he did the moral thing and broke up with Catherine. No one is 100% sure if there's been something physical before that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was all in Catherine's head. Allegedly, Catherine's husband was the one carrying their marriage financially and shouldering the vast majority of fixed expenses, despite both of them working and not that big of an earning discrepancy between the two of them. So, when she wanted to kick him out, he apparently said, "Sure, I'll let you know when you need to pay what to keep everything running." Catherine goes, surprised Pikachu face, at the fact that divorce means paying for your own living expenses, and agrees to downsize in exchange for moving out and him buying her out of the house eventually. Basically, she was living above her means somehow. No idea where her money went though. Anyways, as for the whole mere campaign lodged against us, turns out that the whole drama apparently consisted of only three things. 1. Catherine trying to pressure us and consciously or unconsciously sowing rumors that everybody's really angry with us. 2. A single couple that stood on Catherine's side. And 3. A lot of people hoping to not get pulled into a war of roses and just nodding politely. The couple that was on Catherine's side are the friends that Catherine hit right after us, by the way. The dinner party friends theory is that they threw us under the bus and fed into Catherine's outrage because that couple has a younger daughter, and we know for a fact that Catherine has just as many Karen-style convictions about parenting as she has about relationship styles. Anyway, Catherine is now basically ostracized, moved in with family a bit outside the city, and is working remotely until she finds a condo to haunt this city from again. I also want to clarify a few things from the original post to the people that insinuated that I pressured Anna into this relationship or keep her on a short leash. Given how non-monogamy dating works out for different genders, trust me when I tell you she isn't lacking options to get out of the relationship if she wanted to. The ones that criticized her for not standing up for me, I consciously didn't want to include this part because I didn't want to give judgments. Yeah, hindsight is 20/20, but that has been a dicey subject in our relationship. However, after having Anna's explicit permission to share this here, now there's actually a lot of backstory with Catherine adopting a loner Anna into her friend group back in their school days, and Anna somehow still feeling like she needed to earn her place in the friend group or be thankful for Catherine. She's currently looking into going to therapy for that. Finally, I want to add a last bit of positive news coming out of this crap show. This whole fiasco made Anna and me talk through the whole someone else moving in topic. It's not really something we're going to do in the near future, but Anna told me there's one person she's currently seeing with whom she might be eventually moving into that direction. And this time, she asked me early if I'd be okay with her moving in with us somewhere in the future. Hinge not throuple for the people that speak poon here. I kind of like that Catherine would probably hate that this is the outcome of her whole tantrum, but other than that, I'm really happy things are mainly back to normal now. Well, OP, sounds like really nobody wanted to deal with Catherine, and it's a happy update for you and Anna. It's a good thing that Anna is working on getting over that feeling of owing Catherine anything. So on that note, here's wishing you two the best in the future. Thanks for sharing and take care. And now, let's finish this video with a mood booster post. So, I'm a builder. I primarily do high-end custom homes in the 1 to 4 million price range. I'm a female, 34 years old, which isn't common in this industry, but I really love what I do, and I'm fairly decent at it. In the past, my projects were primarily in rural areas on large ranches, but this particular project is in the middle of a large city. This means there are neighbors in close proximity, which is something new for me to deal with. The neighbors around this area are some of the worst, entitled, nasty people you can imagine. One of them is a celebrity and his wife, whom we will call B, who is also well known. I haven't personally had too much interaction with the couple. When B goes walking every morning, I smile and wave, which I do with everyone because this is Texas, y'all. She would always ignore me, which is honestly whatever. I'm not going to stop being kind because she is unfriendly. I honestly just started ignoring her anyway. My job site has been really busy over the last year, and most of my subs park alongside the street in front of the house. We all park on one side, facing the proper flow of traffic. If someone happens to park on the other side of the street, the neighbors call the cops or the city building official. I find this incredibly annoying and childish, but whatever. I have my guys move, and it's not a big deal. That being said, I stop my project every morning to line my guys out and check on the work that's been done, make my lists, etc. Most of the time, I park on the very right side of B's property, which is just to the left of my project construction drive, so my guys have parking in front of the project house. I am not there long, usually 2 to 3 hours. Then, one day, I was outside the house and a woman approached me. I wasn't sure who she was, but apparently, it was B's maid. She informed me that I needed to move my car, which was on the correct side of the public street, or B was going to call the cops. I looked at her and said there was nothing wrong with me parking there. The maid then proceeded to tell me that B was going to charge me $500 a day for parking in front of her house. I laughed and told the maid I didn't know they were that hard up that they needed to charge a parking fee for using the public street. I went ahead and called the police to get ahead of the situation. He informed me there wasn't anything B could do about me parking in front of her property, which I knew, but I could get a ticket for parking within 15 feet of a fire hydrant, which is on the property line between my project and B's house. The officer informed me I needed to be 15 feet away from the hydrant. I thanked him, and he left, so I did end up moving my car. I took my measuring tape and measured out 15 feet, which put my car almost smack in front of B's house. I decided to park in front of her front sidewalk for 2 weeks. After that, every time she does something rude to me on the street, which happens more than I prefer, I park in front of her house just to piss her off. Honestly, if she had just come to me in the beginning and asked me nicely not to park in front of her house, I probably never would have again, unless absolutely necessary. But the fact she was okay sending her help to threaten me really pissed me off. I don't like it when people think they are above you because they are well off. I know billionaires that have better manners than this chick. Well, the rules say you need to be 15 feet away from the hydrant, and you were. This person has nothing to say regarding you parking on the public street. Some people just have too much free time, and they don't know what to do with it other than to bother other people.